Hello, this is Breakfast with Bill Turnbull and Sian Williams.
Greece is told to vote yes to its bailout package or leave the euro.
Britain's largest public service union will announce today whether it's joining a mass 24-hour strike at the end of the month. The announcement from Unison will go ahead despite an improved pensions offer from the government yesterday.
It's now 18 minutes past 6. This is Breakfast on BBC News.
These are our main stories this morning. OK, thanks very much, Carol.
It's estimated that £22 billion worth of taxpayers' money is stolen or lost every year through fraud and error.
Well, a sizable part of that is benefit fraud, money that could end up coming out of the pockets of those in genuine need. Richard Bilton has more.
And you can see more of that story in Panorama, Britain on the Fiddle, tonight at 8 o'clock on BBC One.
We're discussing it later on here as well, aren't we? It's 8... No, it isn't. It's 6:24 and I just parachute forward 2 hours. 6:24. Don't get worried. Now, they behave like animals. They're violent and abusive. That at least seems to be what almost half the UK population think about children.
That's at least what's suggested by a survey carried out for the charity Barnardo's. We went to Cardiff to see what you think there.
Hello, this is Breakfast with Bill Turnbull and Sian Williams.
On the programme today, we have the remarkable story of the victim of a hit-and-run accident whose skull was shattered into 30 pieces. He's now been able to return to university and complete his studies. He'll be here with the surgeon who saved his life.
Also this morning, as we've been reporting, it's the G20 summit in Cannes, and the actor Bill Nye is there. He'll tell us later why he's campaigning for a so-called Robin Hood tax.
We're also looking at what the new offer on public sector pensions really means. Our expert Paul Lewis will be here to talk us through the detail and answer your queries.
After 9 o'clock this morning, we've got Ross Kemp with us to tell us about his return to Afghanistan, where he looked at exactly what has changed 10 years on from 9/11. That's to come.
First, our main story this morning. The leaders of France and Germany have given a blunt warning to the Greek Prime Minister, telling him his country must vote yes to a bailout package or leave the euro.
Earlier, George Papandreou saying it's a democratic right to hold a referendum. So what are the leaders saying to him in response to that?
Hello, hello.
Is the Chancellor right? How generous is the new...
Isn't that right, Carol?
Absolutely right, Sian, yes. And some heavy rain at that, and also...
So those are some of the front pages. Penny's looking at the most important story around at the moment, the Eurozone crisis. They thought they had a plan. Now there's a big spanner in the works.
Massive spanner in the works. It's such a shame, isn't it, just to say the least. Goodness. I think of stupid questions, but important nevertheless. Tweet me at Penny Haslam.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Much. It's 9 minutes to 7.
4 miles of tunnels, which were dug during World War I in the Somme battlefield, are now being excavated by a team of British and French archaeologists.
Some of them are up to 100 feet below the ground. Robert Hall's in the village of La Boisselle in France with more for us this morning. Morning, Robert. Good morning. It's Thursday, the 3rd of November.
Good morning and welcome to the programme. Also ahead
in about 15 minutes.
Carol, thanks very much.
Thank you. Good morning to you. First, our main news this morning. The leaders of France and Germany have given a blunt warning to the Greek Prime Minister, telling him his country must vote yes to a bailout package or leave the euro. There's evidence that humans were living in England as long as 44,000 years ago. That's far earlier than we previously thought. Scientists have analysed a jawbone excavated from a prehistoric cave in Torquay. Their findings suggest our ancestors lived alongside Neanderthals and may have been responsible for their extinction. Mr. Barber, thanks very much for being with us here on... Rather grisly out there at the moment.
It is. There's a lot of rain and some heavy showers, and that's...
22 minutes to 8. They behave like animals and are violent and abusive. That seems to be what almost half of us here in the UK think about children.
At least that's what's suggested by a survey carried out for the charity Barnardo's. We went to Cardiff to see what people there thought. Half of those questioned think that children are feral. Why?
Thank you very much, Baroness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a bit wet out there. Morning.
It is, Sian, but I'm going to take you back. September and October were not bad months at all. But if you look, Sian and Bill, in all those showers and rain...
Yes, won't it? Thank you, Carol.
Leaders thought they had a plan, Penny, and now, do they still?
Well, it's a massive turnaround from this time last week when there was palpable relief on the trading floors, but not...
At a premium, though. I'll have more on that in 15 minutes.
OK, thanks very much.
And a paragliding flight over the Himalayas would be enough to set most pulses racing. One man, though, had a truly heart-stopping moment when 2 large birds flew into his path. An eagle. But then we were told it may have been the Himalayan griffon vulture.
Yes,
or
indeed.
possibly even since then we had an update, haven't we? What was it?
We did. An Egyptian vulture, an adult
Egyptian vulture. Rather a long way from home, isn't it?
Yes, I know, but to get that in just a couple of seconds.
I know.
Very
Thank
good.
you very
Thanks
much for that.
Those are our main stories this morning. At the time, 11 minutes past 8. In a few moments, Carol's going to have a full weather forecast for you, but just briefly, take your brolly.
Yeah.
That's the message.
Now, the Greek bailout is grabbing all the headlines at the G20 summit in Cannes so far, but financial help for other countries is also on the agenda.
Today, the Microsoft founder Bill Gates will tell leaders they can raise billions of pounds to fight global poverty by a small tax on financial transactions.
It's been called a Robin Hood tax. The actor Bill Nye supports it, and he's in Cannes as an ambassador for Oxfam. He joins us now. Morning, Bill. Thanks very much for taking the time to speak to us.
How right you were.
Thank you, Sian. Yes, and it really is raining. There's more rain to come as well.
Samuel, what did you have to do?
Oh, right. Where do you start? I think with cases like Jack.
Congratulations, Simon.
For Jack? Just one from me.
Just the one. How many? Was that the only one that you had? No. How many did you have altogether?
Well, from the multitude.
Oh, yeah, those teeth are in good nick. Those are our main stories this morning. Let's tell you what's coming up here later on breakfast. Ross Kemp.
Be positive, though, about things, because there are two views you could take of being locked in a coal hole. One is, this is miserable and utterly horrible and my life is ghastly.
Yeah.
Or to say, well, actually, you said, what, I can read.
Bring those things together, and it wasn't a memoir. It was.
It's some very raw
Yeah.
and very revealing things that you
Yes.
say. You say things like,
Winston used to say the devil led her and her husband to the wrong crib.
Yeah.
And it was yesterday.
when your son was 9 years old and he's now
21 enamoured with
They're
him.
on-
Do you feel you learned something? Remembering soldiers from the First World War. Well, we're remembering soldiers who are in action now because we've got Ross Kemp with us. Ross, welcome to the programme.
Thank you for having
You
me.
were last in Afghanistan just over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you notice a big change when you went to Afghanistan? It
Combat
going
troops
to be
leave in
done-
2014,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
gonna-
Ross, thanks
Thank
very much
you.
indeed.
Thanks for
Fascinating
coming
stuff. Ross Kemp back on the front line is on Sky One on November the 14th at 9 p.m. That's a week on
Monday.
Monday. Week on Monday.
9
That's
o'clock
it.
on Sky.
All right.
Thanks, Ross.
Thank you.
That's it from us. Have a very good day today. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.